When you hear the words first-person shooter, I promise you the first thing you think of is Call of Duty. You can be a Battlefield fan, a Halo fan, Medal of Honor, even though they don't even make the games anymore. Whatever fan of a series you are, the first thing you think of is Call of Duty. Call of Duty has been like the first-person juggernaut, the first-person poster board for like, what, 16 years? And despite its many competitions, it always seems to come out on top every release. And when it comes to its success, everybody pinpoints Modern Warfare as like the beginning of a franchise. Even though they had games before, when Modern Warfare dropped, it changed everything. Multiplayer was different, campaign was different, everything was, well, modern. In other words, Modern Warfare 1 is like the get rich or die trying for the Call of Duty series. No, it's not the first piece of work they put out, but it's kind of what blew them up. Now, in my opinion, despite Modern Warfare 1 being what gave them recognition, I think the sequel is what solidified them, Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 is a first-person shooter released in August 2009. It was the 6th installment to the series, and it was released on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Now, obviously, there is a gap between Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, right? It's Call of Duty World at War. Love that game, amazing installment, and it most definitely did what it was supposed to do, which is entertain, but I think Modern Warfare 2 skyrocketed the franchise in more ways than World at War could ever compete with. Like, I remember how crazy shit was when this game was released. I remember how hyped people were before it was released. You had people waiting in lines at like midnight for this shit to come out. GameStop was packed with people. IGN released a video a few months later of like the launch dates, not the launch dates, but like it was an event for Modern Warfare 2. It had all types of people. Ice-T was there, G-Unit was there. It was crazy. Folks loved this game and they were so excited for it, myself included. And I'm happy to say that this game gave us exactly what we were looking for. Okay, so the story for the game opens up like this, right? We get probably the best intro out of any COD game ever. It tells you the story of the first game, you know, it gives you a retelling. They use cutscenes from Modern Warfare 1 along with actual gameplay, without the HUD, obviously. They give you the names of the people attached to the game, you know, the staff, and the visuals for this was beautiful. These scenes are overlapped by a satellite visual of the planet, basically, of different countries and cities probably visited throughout each Call of Duty game, throughout each Modern Warfare game, and it has these green lines going through it, all the while this music is playing in the background. It's very cinematic. Everything's in dark and green colors. The brightness and the colors of the actual cinematics of the cutscenes have been dimmed down to match the setting. It's like the intro to a movie. To this day, I don't know if this intro is skippable because I never attempted to skip it. This intro captivates you. It's a very unique way to retell the story of the previous game. Said intro is then followed up by General Shepard's monologue, and the monologue matches the tone of the For the Record intro. It's very poetic and captivating.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. Boundaries shift, new players step in, but power always finds a place to rest its head.
Right off the bat, the tone has been set for the game and you're ready to get started. You're given control of Joseph Allen, a member of the US Army Rangers, and you're then sent into the tutorial. You learn how to shoot, throw grenades, aim down your sights, all types of shit. You then move on to the pit, which is an advanced version of the tutorial. You run an obstacle course just like you did in the first Modern Warfare. You can restart it if you don't like your time, whatever the fuck you feel comfortable doing. And right after that, you're sent into your first official mission. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the first mission was kind of confusing because right after you get out of the pit, you go upstairs, it's complete chaos. You see Humvees and Jeeps coming back. They're riddled with bullets. Bro is bleeding out through his brains. It's crazy. All you know is that they're back and now you and the rest of the Rangers have to go over to Afghanistan and fight God knows what militia. And it's funny because now that I'm replaying this mission, I don't think they ever really explained why we had to go to Afghanistan. I don't know. I didn't question it at first, but nonetheless, it was still a great first entry to the campaign. You and the rest of the Rangers have to protect a drawbridge whilst being attacked by a militia. Y'all are on one side of the river, they're on the other side, and you gotta take them out before they destroy what you have left to go over there. Once we get that out the way, you and the rest of the Rangers in tanks, jeeps, turrets, all types of shit cruise through the streets of Afghanistan so you can get to the pinned down troops at a local school. And what's really cool about this next part is while y'all are cruising, y'all aren't shooting anything, you're not getting attacked, but it's dusty, y'all just blew up a building, there's smoke and fog everywhere, and it's hard for you to see, but you get this eerie feeling like something's about to happen. You got militia watching you on the rooftops, you can't shoot them because they're not attacking you, but it's still a creepy feeling. And then out of nowhere, snipers just start hitting us. You can't see anything, you don't know where they are, all you know is that bullets are hitting you and your Humvee. And once you reach the school and you see all of them on the roof, you just open fire. That whole scene was tense and suspenseful, you didn't know what was gonna come next. I can't remember the term, but it's like the quiet within the storm, some shit like that. It's like everything was mad quiet and then out of nowhere chaos just erupts. Now y'all gotta retreat to the school, you're getting shot by rocket launchers and bullets, it's crazy. Now after crashing the Humvee, y'all make it to the school, and that gunfight throughout that school was crazy. You got sandbags in the hallways, desks are turned sideways to block bullets, the windows are covered up, the chalkboard is riddled with bullets. It's a crazy visual. You got soldiers coming out of classrooms blasting. Like the entire first mission is just one all-out war. After fighting to make it to the rally point, you meet up with General Shepard and the rest of the Rangers, and he low-key kidnaps us. He's like, hey, I like what you did out there. You work for me now, let's dip. He both recruits and introduces you to his hand-picked group of soldiers called the Task Force 141. He then gets you suited up and prepares you for an undercover mission at a Russian airport. Now, obviously, y'all know the next mission is no Russian, alright? That's what the whole undercover shit's about. We gonna get into that later. Just know that at this point, the events of the story is already set in motion. And that was just the first mission. The campaign for this game was spectacular. Each one more daring and blood pumping than the last. Like, the story for this game is filled with so many memorable moments. Like, for example, the White House mission where it's like pitch black, y'all are fighting through trenches, and then like an EMP strike in space happened and it wiped out all the lights on the planet. Like, you were practically fighting in the dark. No red dot sight, no electricity, no nothing. Or the part when we found out that Captain McTavish was actually the main character from the first Modern Warfare. That shit was wild. Or Captain Price letting off that fucking missile into the air. The missile that they were sent there to stop, all you hear was Ghost screaming, missile in the air, missile in the air. It was wild, bro. This game was so memorable. I know it's been like 14 years, but if you're looking for a Call of Duty with a great campaign that you haven't tried yet, Modern Warfare 2 is for you. Now we get into the other parts of the game. Special Ops. Special Ops to Modern Warfare is like zombies to Black Ops. It gives you another thing to do if you don't want to play multiplayer or the campaign. Now, Special Ops is a collection of missions that are broken up into 4 chapters that you can either play by yourself or with a friend. The majority of them are heavily based off of missions from the campaign, but they're all very original. Except for the sniping mission with Price in the Arctic. That's a direct ripoff from the story. Each chapter has like 6 or 7 missions. Now, how it works is you can either do recruit, hardened, or veteran. You do recruit, you get 1 star, hardened is 2 stars, veteran is 3. The higher the stars you collect throughout each missions in each chapter unlocks the next chapter. So let's say you're doing Alpha. You need like, I don't know, 12 stars in order to unlock Bravo. Between those 7 missions, you need to get at least 12 stars in order to pass on to the next stage. And the chapters get harder and harder. I recommend playing with a friend, but it's still just as fun playing by yourself. That's all there is really to it to Special Ops. It's just a bunch of trial runs with you and your friends. But nonetheless, it was still a fun addition to the game. It gave you something else to do. Now we're gonna get into the multiplayer. The multiplayer to me is right there with the campaign. In most games, you have like, all right, the campaign's right here, then the multiplayer is like a good second, and then let's say, I don't know, Special Ops, that's like third. For this one, multiplayer and campaign are neck and neck. Like for me, the multiplayer is just as legendary, if not more, than the campaign. At the time of its release, this was the most advanced multiplayer in the COD games. Multiple weapon attachments. The score streak system was so much better than the first Modern Warfare and World at War. Just the right amount of numbers of guns you can use. The perk system was back and just as good as World at Wars and Modern Warfare. And the actual gameplay itself for multiplayer was fun as hell. The maps were so memorable. You got like an onslaught of game modes, you know, like domination, capture the flag, search and destroy, ground war, free-for-alls, team deathmatches, literally everything. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think at the time, Modern Warfare 2 had the most game modes in it than any other COD multiplayer. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. The maps were legendary. Obviously, everyone remembers Terminal. That's like Modern Warfare's Nuketown. It was a play off of the No Russian map, but like way smaller. Actually, no, I think it's the same size. And something I really loved about the maps is, you know how, like, as I said, Black Ops has Nuketown and Terminal's the equivalent? Even though Terminal's the equivalent, if Terminal wasn't there, there's like mad other maps that you could compare to Nuketown. And when I say that, I mean it's based off of how memorable it is. Like maps like Favilla or Quarry, maps like Estate, maps like Afghan. High Rise was just as memorable in my opinion. Derail, you know, the Arctic map, that was another one. And even though those ones are opinionated, I can most definitely say if Terminal wasn't around, Rust would most definitely be the equivalent to Nuketown. Like Rust by itself could be its own game mode. That map was so small but also so chaotic. Hands down the most chaos I've seen in any Modern Warfare map. And even though I didn't name the rest of the maps, they're bangers too. Modern Warfare 2 gave us back-to-back bangers with these maps. And I don't know too many games in the series that can really say they've done that as well. The grenade launcher was OP as shit though. That was a weapon attachment in Modern Warfare 2. It's been there for a while, but like Modern Warfare 2's grenade launcher, it was mad OP. I don't know if they nerfed it as of late, because I know that it technically takes like 2 to hit now, depending on how far they are, but if you got one close enough to it didn't even have to hit them. It would take out like 3 people at the same time if they was close enough. That shit was like a one-shot. And I loved it. Another thing that really made this multiplayer shine, and this is something I wish they would do in the newer ones, was how simple it was. The simplicity of this multiplayer was so underappreciated. This was a time in COD where all you really needed was like 1 or 2 attachments to your gun, and that was it. And the only way to get 2 attachments is if you had the bling perk. But even if you got the bling perk, you'd have to sacrifice Marathon, which gave you unlimited sprinting. So you had to choose between unlimited sprinting or 2 weapon attachments. And at the time, you only had like 5 custom slots for your custom weapons. You didn't get 10, you couldn't buy DLC for you to get an extra 10, so now you have 20. No, it was just 5. And not once did I play that game with only 2 attachments thinking to myself, damn, I wish I could add more shit to my gun. Or damn, this game would be so much better if I had this, that, the third attached to it. The simplicity of the older COD games aren't as recognized anymore. Like now you can have like 10 different attachments to your weapons and you can like tune them if you want to. But obviously except for the new Modern Warfare, because like in the new Modern Warfare 2 it's like 5 attachments, but even then you don't need that much. And I don't necessarily mind it per se, but I do think it takes up too much space in the newer ones. Modern Warfare 2 is the complete opposite. Everything you had was a necessity. You didn't need for much, you didn't want for much, and everyone still had fun. That was the importance of this game. This game is legendary as hell. I don't know too many people who haven't played it. I don't know too many people who have played it and would say opposite. And before I forget, let me get on this No Russian shit. For y'all who don't know, No Russian was a mission, like it was like the 2nd or 3rd mission in Modern Warfare 2 where you have to go undercover in Makarov's group and y'all basically pull off a terrorist attack and murder an airport full of civilians. Yo, the amount of heat they caught when this game was released and they found out that that mission was a part of it was crazy. It was all over the news. People were making articles about it. People were saying that Infinity Ward and the Call of Duty developers were preparing players for terrorism. It was wild. And I know they knew it was gonna do this shit because in the beginning of the game, when you first get it, there's like a warning in the beginning like, hey, some themes in this game are kind of fucked. If you want to skip it, do it now. You won't even have to play it. Then obviously I pressed no, not realizing what was going to come next. So you can imagine my surprise when I first hit No Russian. I was like, oh shit, this is what we doing? And it's funny because I don't think any of those news articles at the time ever mentioned the fact that you had the option to skip it. Like they low-key made it seem like the game developers force you to play through it. Like, even when you were playing it, there was a tab in the menu, like the pause menu, that said, hey, yo, you can skip this if you want to. So it's not like they forced us, but like still, the amount of controversy this game got because of No Russian by itself, that shit can't be duplicated. This game is full of memorable moments, man. This game is a memorable moment. Like, I can easily say this by itself was like an event. I think Modern Warfare 2, what separates this one from any other game in the series was, even though it was a video game, it felt like a movie. It was like a movie being told through the narration of a gamer. And come to find out, Hans Zimmer was part of this. You know, like the same dude that helped direct the music for The Dark Knight. Like, when I found that out, it made so much sense. The voice acting, the cutscenes, the score, everything about this felt like a blockbuster movie. And I can't think of too many games in this series that can really match that. Modern Warfare 2 was the only one to do this. Even Modern Warfare 3, like, even though it attempted to do the same thing, it didn't catch the same feeling that Modern Warfare 2 did. I'm telling you, if you've never played this game, please do. This shit will really change your fucking life. Obviously that's an exaggeration, but please play this game. And that's all I got for Reggie TV. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I really enjoyed making this one. Obviously I say that shit in every single one. I enjoy all the videos I make, but Modern Warfare 2 is a special one for me, B. Like, this is hands down in my top 5 favorite video games of all time. So, as normal, it's always fun making these videos, but this one was very special. Nonetheless, that's all I got for y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll see y'all in the next one, and I'm out.